All right, I'm just gonna.
Now it wants to work on my headphones. What the F?
That makes no sense. It sounds
Yeah,
about right
no.
though. Sounds about right.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of let this give it a second to kind of let it load up, and but I mean, hey, what a freaking deal! This is a good playoff hockey, man. This is
Oh,
good.
dude.
This is good games to
That
watch
first
today,
game, that first game,
dude. It's
it's
incredible.
gonna be, it's gonna be good.
Better than I expected. I'll be honest with
Oh,
you.
dude, I knew it was gonna be good.
Better than I expected. So this is the No Agenda Hockey podcast. I guess this is more of just a kind of a recap of what we're gonna do. I'm gonna probably edit something up probably the next few hours regarding the game. But we appreciate people that are gonna pop through. We'll talk for I don't know until Chiefs got to go Betty buys. Uh,
Betty buys, what am I, three?
yes.
Jesus, man.
So let's talk about the first game, man. Or the second game, I should say, and then we'll go into the first one. The Colorado Avalanche beat the Dallas Stars 5-1, and my main takeaway is Mackenzie Blackwood is not here to play games. He is
No.
ready. He's
Yeah.
looking good.
Yeah. Um, that's probably my biggest takeaway. Natty Mac doing Natty Mac things.
Absolutely.
Another 3-point playoff performance.
I mean, it's just
Um,
expected at this point.
it really kind of is. He's just stupid. It's and I'm going to give a big time shout out to one of my favorite players on the team, Logan O'Connor, back checking like a fiend.
Oh, he had a huge hit too, right? Like
Yeah.
he had a huge hit on a player. I forgot which player, but he freaking killed him.
I think it was Lindgren.
Might have been, but yeah, he definitely took that dude's head off. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the the thing. I My biggest takeaway though, outside of Mackenzie Blackwood, is our fourth line:
It looked
Parker
good.
Kelly, O'Connor, my boy OC,
Mm-hmm.
and Drury.
Yeah.
Dude, that's I. In years past, the third line was pretty good. The fourth line was kind of where things got a little dicey.
Right.
This is like the first time where I'm like the fourth line. I'm like, hell yeah.
It's what I'll say about this Avalanche team going into this series. A lot of people like to talk about Dallas's depth, and it does. It has so much depth up front.
Mm-hmm.
But the Avalanche made some nice additions to make their team even deeper, and I think you kind of saw that in this first game. And again, I liked some of the cycling. I mean, in the first period, the Avalanche had so many shots in it. Like they were hemming the Stars in their own zone. And mind
Yeah.
you, some pressure went back and forth. Stars got some good designated offensive zone time later in the first, and then in the second period, Blackwood made some really big stops. And as a goaltender, it's hard to make a sequence of really big stops after being kind of cold for a long stretch of time. But he stayed locked in. He looked extremely good. I I think we have to talk about this because it was the first goal of the game. That Lekkonen goal was hilarious.
Oh,
I have never seen anything like that where a player gets tripped, kicks that like it's FIFA, top shelf. I'm like, what is going on here?
that was I. I mean, I've been watching hockey for a hot minute,
Mm.
but I can't think of anything remotely close to that.
I can't either. I really can't either because it was such a bizarre.
Fluky,
Yeah, it was such a
bizarre,
bizarre
fluky.
because it wasn't intentional.
No.
And that's I think some Star fans are going to be a little bit aggravated with that. Like, oh, that's a kicking motion. I'm like, he's falling to the ice. Like
Yeah.
that's just kind of a luck of the draw type situation there.
Yeah.
And Ottinger kind of Ottinger kind of got screwed on the two first goals, right? Like the Lekkonen
Yeah,
goal
he
where he
did.
kicks it, and then the
Then it
McKinnon where it
goes
goes
off.
off his defender where it's like a change up.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the Avalanche go up 2-0 in the second period because both goaltenders kept it scoreless in the first.
Yeah.
It was a wildly entertaining game. It really
Yeah.
was.
I
Now,
just I did only manage to twice yell at Nathan McKinnon because he does something that drives me absolutely bonkers.
and what's that?
The cross ice pass. Well, when he's on the left side,
Yeah.
And it used to be when Mika was on the other side. I'm like, dude, that. I mean, when it works, okay, yeah, but it works way less than it does. Like, if you
Yeah.
do it 10 times, it's only going to work. I've seen it work through maybe 4 at most.
Yeah.
And it makes me absolutely go batshit crazy when he does that.
I think, to be fair, he's so talented. He feels like he could probably get away with that most of the time. Like, oh, he goes over three.
Exactly.
But he's like, I'm batting 300. That's a Hall of Fame numbers in baseball,
Yeah.
right?
Get you in the
So,
hall. Yeah.
so I could understand it. I did like on some of the power plays they were actually starting to use the bumper a bit more, and I would say Kale McCarr was ripping shots from the point, but he was ripping them high, high. Like he was,
Hi. Yeah.
yeah, he was just not
Well,
able to get the shot. I think he just had, I don't know if he just had his juice pumping and he was ready to just rip one home, but he was just like over the head of players.
and it was funny too because after by about the I think it was about the second or third one, Boucher had mentioned that he was
Yeah,
just putting them that he was roofing them,
yeah,
and then I kind of started paying attention to it. And I was like, holy shit!
yeah. I mean, he
I
was,
mean,
yeah.
he gets 2 or 3 of those down. It might be even worse than it is now.
It's, I'll say this, right? I thought we were going to have ourselves a game because Rope Hintz got a tip in goal. Like nothing Blackwood could do there, change his direction.
Mm-mm.
And I could say this first 2 goals for the Stars, I mean, sorry, for the Avalanche against the Stars and Ottinger. I'm not going to blame Ottinger on those.
No,
It was a really entertaining game. And then
it was
just,
tight.
it was tight. And like, because if you look at the score 5-1 and you don't watch the game, you're like, oh shit, that was a blowout. But it really wasn't. It was a really good,
No.
close game. And then once they scored that third goal, Taves, I
Hmm.
mean, kind of looking at the sequencing here, pretty
That
much.
pass from Parker Kelly, that
Oh,
little redirect,
yeah,
that was fucking filthy.
it was nasty.
That was so just, dude. I don't have the words. It was. I mean, good on Parker Kelly because that's a hell of a primary.
Well, it says he's secondary on this one.
Oh, was it secondary?
Yeah,
It
but
should have been. It should have
check.
been Manson with the secondary, Parker Kelly with the primary, and
No, no, no.
Lacaze
It
with the
was
goal.
no, no. I'm sorry. It was I read the wrong one. It was O'Connor to Manson, then to Taves.
Okay.
So I mean, but honestly, man, I think it's one of the things when it comes to the Avalanche, right? And one of the dangerous parts, right? You can keep it close, but they have that ability to score in bunches. And mind you, one of them
Yep.
was like an empty netter with McKinnon, but that is what it is. But Charlie Coyle gets on the board, your favorite player of all time. Um,
Oh, he pissed me off a couple times too. He
he's
made a
an eff-
couple lazy passes, and I just, oh god,
he's an
I
eff-
was,
he's an effective third line guy.
yeah, I mean, I was fighting the urge to drive to Denver and put the for sale sign in front of his house.
The big storyline out of this one though is Blackwood, right?
Oh,
It
hands
has to
down.
be. He made some friggin' fantastic saves. That dude was on one. He really
And the and
was.
the and the goal he gave up, he kind of got screwed because his stick got caught in the net.
Yeah, and that's why I can't really blame that on him because as a
No,
goaltender, that's just difficult. Like you're used to having a stick to kind of cover your 5 hole and positioning for your
yeah,
hands. Yeah, it was. He could have had a shutout tonight,
yeah,
and he played really well. But I was really impressed with Mackenzie Blackwood with his battling because he make one save, two save, three save. Like he just stuck with the play. Because I'm not saying all goalies, but some goalies, like after a couple saves, it's like a little lackadaisical. Like I really
yeah,
liked the compete and battling I saw from Blackwood.
yes,
And
because he
listen,
had he
yeah.
had 2 or 3 of those scrambles that they should have that they
Oh, should
the
have scored.
one should have
Yeah,
scored. I'm not gonna.
100%.
I mean, I can't say they should have scored.
Yeah. There was a couple opportunities Dallas should have probably buried that biscuit,
Hmm.
and Blackwood came up huge. I mean, I think one went like right off his right hip or something. Like it was,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that one where it ricocheted up. The only thing that troubles me is his rebounds.
yeah, yeah.
That is something that could definitely hurt us down the road.
I think I think he can be fine if you get him in the situation where they're properly set up defensively. But yeah, I think he needs to start trying to kick those rebounds in the corner and off in danger because there
Yeah.
was a couple rebounds like he made some fantastic saves, but he didn't help himself. Like he just kicked it
No.
right out. Uh,
No.
so he played really friggin' well though.
And just to kind of piggyback, um, on what something another thing Boucher had said in the beginning of the broadcast. He said this is kind of a must-win game for Dallas because they've lost. They're 0-5-2 in their last seven.
Yeah,
Now 0-6-2 in their last eight.
yeah.
Um, Now is this in their heads? I mean, I
You
know the
know,
playoffs is a different animal, but
it's
I think it's a
I.
question to be asked.
Maybe, possibly. I think some of the injuries don't help. I mean, obviously Sagan was back, and you have some Pete players missing. All right, like you have Miro out, you have Robertson out,
Robertson's out.
so it doesn't help things in that regard.
No.
But doubt can start to creep in your mind. I mean, this was,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say this because there was a big question mark about Blackwood coming into it. This is his first
Mm-hmm.
career playoff start. Uh, 958 save percentage, 1.0 goals against the average. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
And
Answer the bell.
so for me, when I'm looking at the Stars going forward, is there if they want to really, they're going to need to split this. They're
They
going to
have
need to
to.
split. They're going to need to split this because if they don't, if they go down 2-0, that is going to be a hell of a lead or hell of a deficit to try to climb out of,
Yeah.
especially against a
And
Stars team that has so much talent up and down the lineup.
I have a feeling I'm no insider or anything, but I think that they are waiting for Wednesday, that first home game, and I think Landy's going to play, which is going to juice that team up. You think they were hyped up before? Ridiculous. Even if he only plays 7, 8, 9 minutes,
Yeah.
just him on the bench is going to be a lift.
It comes down to me when I'm really thinking about Landeskog, right? I think it would definitely would be better to have that happen in Colorado because it can get really
Yes.
appreciated. That I think that would be
Mm-hmm.
that just makes sense at this point.
Yeah.
I think
That place is going to go nuts.
Landeskog coming back is going to be such an emotional lift for these guys, especially a guy like
Yes.
McKinnon, right? Because
Yes.
look,
And McCarr.
guys that have played with him, been there for him, understand what he
Mm-hmm.
represents. I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta commend Colorado has the way they have dealt with Landeskog, letting him keep the C, even though he's been out for years at this point.
Yeah.
It's an A1 organization in my personal opinion.
Yeah. I
So
mean, for the game tonight, dude, I broke out my Landy jersey.
and it's just this is gonna be probably be the best series in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and these are two of the top teams. So you know, it's interesting, right? If Dallas loses this, even with some of the injuries, I just like you brought in Rantanen,
Yeah.
you brought in Granlund, you brought in
Uh-huh.
you brought in some pieces to try to stabilize this team and get over the hump. It's like it's only game one, plenty of hockey left to play,
Yeah.
but I do believe game two is. I hate to say a must win,
It is a must win.
but it's against this Avalanche team where if they go home and Landeskog's first game in like 3 years is game three,
Yeah.
I don't see the Avalanche losing that game.
No, I don't either. That the energy in that building is going to be off the fucking chart. It might be the
100%.
loudest. It might be the loudest that building's ever been.
I agree. Because, dude, it's. I mean, I watched the full AHL game he played, the first and second game. Dude, the
Mm-hmm.
barn was so loud. Like that's the
And
loudest
that's
I think I've heard an AHL game.
that's not a big barn either. I drive past
No.
that when I go down to Denver. I think it might be 6.5, 7,000, maybe.
Yeah, like a typical AHL rink. Like it's
Yeah.
nothing like crazy, but it was such a loud barn. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
holy crap. And I think it's going to be fantastic. So, I mean, going forward for adjustments, I think the adjustments you'd like to see Colorado make going forward.
I really don't think that they need to not do their first power play when they had that 5-on-3. Didn't
Hmm.
like it.
Yeah.
Then that second power play, they changed a couple things up, like you mentioned. I think that's the only change they really needed to make.
Yeah. And if I was to gonna say probably like one criticism I'd have of the Avalanche is I think I'd like certain players to be a little bit more selfish on 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s or like in scoring.
Yeah, that pass that Nate just
It,
gave up when he should have shot it.
yeah, just like yeah, like shoot that Nate, just like just shoot
Yeah,
it
shoot that. You had
because
nobody on you. I know Natty Max on your left. You're both steaming down there. You got a 2-on-1. You don't have to give it to him.
no, you don't. I don't think McKinnon would be mad at you taking a shot on a 2-on-1, right?
Absolutely not.
You know he's
Especially if you rip it past him.
no, and even if you just make him have to make a desperation save, right, and the rebound goes out, you don't know how that could go. Like that could
Yeah,
create another goal. So I think that's
yeah,
something I would criticize. Defensively, I think they played pretty solid. I mean, shit, you literally let one goal, and it was kind of a fluky one.
yeah,
And again, I think just Blackwood's rebounds that is a little bit of a cause of concern. You don't want him to have to continually make like save after save after save in sequence, but I mean, there's not too much I could really complain for what the Avalanche played tonight. They played really good,
no, they
you
played
know.
very well. And looking other side of the coin, I think DeBoer needed to juggle his lines a little sooner.
Probably, yeah,
I think he
yeah.
waited a hair too long. I think after that first power play when they didn't score in the first
Mm,
period,
mm-hmm.
I I mean, I am no by no means a hockey coach or anything like that, and I'm not an X's and O's guy, but I think they might have made it more difficult if they could have if you even I mean even just a couple, swapping one or two guys, around swapping a couple lines around.
Yeah, like shuffle up the
That
lineup. Like that's
yeah.
I don't think that's a
Um
terrible idea.
yeah, because it's just that after that first power play it was kind of meh. I mean, they had a bunch of shots, but it was just not I don't think it was what they really wanted to do.
It was. I mean, Blackwood made some nice stops, right? So I'm
I
not
mean,
taking
he
anything away from
did.
him. Not taking anything away from
Fair.
him, but I do agree. I think in certain situations, I would have liked, maybe a Duchesne, be a little bit more selfish, or just rip it. I think if they got a little bit more shot friendly. I mean, we saw like the first goal, like the only goal they scored this game, I should say. It was off of
Hmm.
a Rope Hintz tip.
Yeah.
Just get shots for the point, generate shots, make the goalies have to make the stop, right? And
Yep.
to be fair, I think Blackwood just kind of it was a goalie game for him, so they got goalied a bit. But my only like some adjustments, I think spacing in the neutral zone into the defensive zone for the Stars because that is something I think with the Avs speed you have to be very cautionary of. Like you don't want to let Natchez and McKinnon get freewheeling because
Yeah.
that can get
Or even and
extremely
McCarr
difficult.
too.
And McCarr, yep, you're right, and McCarr and Ottinger. I don't think he played terrible.
No. He
You know,
definitely missed they definitely missed Heiskanen.
they
Hands
do.
down.
You can tell.
And Robert and I mean going furthermore on that, Robertson as well. Because he's on the power play, so he would have helped as well. I mean, both those guys makes this an even tougher hill to climb for Dallas.
Yeah, and that's like I think Robertson's week to week, so maybe he comes back in this series. But it's weird. I hate saying this in a game one. Like game two is a must win, but with
No, it
Landeskog
is.
waiting in the wings,
Yeah,
that crowd is going to be pumped. That whole team is going to be pumped. That city. I think it's
yeah.
going to be vitally important for them to win that.
They have it. I will. I mean, a lot of hyperbole and whatnot, but they have to win game two.
Yeah. And
You drop the first two games of the series in your barn, it becomes serious pucker time.
appreciate you popping in, DC. Um, but yeah, I agree. I think it becomes a very difficult uphill battle if they go down 2-0 because then I
Yeah,
think that game 3 they most likely lose and then we've seen teams come back down from 3-0 but that's history you don't want to necessarily have to make there.
yeah, and against probably one of the four best teams in the NHL, that's even worse.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Alrighty, so let's get into the first game of the night.
Ooh.
The Winnipeg Jets beat the St. Louis Blues, man. And I gotta say, buddy, I gotta say this. I gotta be honest. I was a little fucking worried. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was because I picked the Jets,
Uh-huh.
right? I picked the Jets to win that series, and I mean, when the barn's real quiet, they're
Oh
down
yeah.
3-2,
Yeah.
and it's like Jets fans, they just their buttholes just pucker just a little bit extra, and they stuck with it though. I got to give them hats off to that. Like the Iafallo, like Shifley to Iafallo, slips
Great goal.
underneath the pad of Bennington, and then Shifley again to Kyle Connor
Yep.
with less than 2 minutes left to rip that past Bennington. I gotta say, Bennington haters or deniers or whatever, Bennington played really pretty good. Like I think he played pretty damn good in this game. Like
He did play good.
he played some really, like he made some really great stops. Like that, who was it on? Was the other shot on Connor? I try to remember. There was a one timer he made like a lateral save from his right to his left.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Get
yeah,
Yeah, he just gets the
yeah.
glove there, and it goes off the glove. He saves it,
Yep.
and he was for the most
He
part
was
there positionally
solid.
sound. Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying this though, if I'm Winnipeg, I am seriously concerned.
Oh yeah. After that game, yeah.
Yeah, because and this is I knew this is exactly how this would go. St. Louis gave them everything they could handle and almost a little more than they could come back from.
Mm.
Because I think when they were up 3-2, Cairo ripped one and Hellebuck made a pretty freaking good save. Because if they go up 4-2,
Mm.
that might be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Hellebuck. It's weird, right? Because people will. Hellebuck didn't have a great postseason last year. Just call it what
No.
it is, and some of it was the team in front of him. But the first goal, Robert Thomas, that's at the face-off dot. That was just an absolute snipe. But fine. Maybe you say he could have had that. Sure, maybe. But then when you
Mm-hmm.
look at the Sunquist one, where he's just alone,
Yeah.
not pretty much alone there in the slot. Most NHL guys should score that. And then the Kyrou goal, where he shoots it from distance, but like I think was it Sunquist screening him? Yeah,
I think so.
Hellebuck was getting screened. He couldn't see it, and that goes top left blocker side. I thought Hellebuck made some nice stops. He made a breakaway save on was it Kyrou? He made a really nice stop. Kyrou was trying
Yeah,
to go
that was the
slide at
one.
5-hole.
That was the one that would have made it 4-2, I think.
It was that was a huge stop. He made some
Yeah.
nice glove saves. It's so because there was some conversation where I've seen with some people. Oh, like Hellebuck's not a money goalie, yada yada yada. I'm like, I don't think it's that. I think some of those goals, I would say at least 2 or 3 of those, I can't blame on the goalie.
No.
You know,
Whether it be screened or redirect or what have you.
yeah.
Or just I mean, and it
Oh,
just what it boils down to is no puck luck.
yeah. I mean, and when Hellebuck is smooth and calm, that's when he's at his best version of himself.
Yep.
So, and I think sometimes due to that, because he does kind of, he looks really slow. I just think he's just positionally sound. So I don't think he had a bad game.
No. But if I'm
I
Winnipeg, I am definitely kind
I'm
of
concerned. I'm
yeah.
concerned. Like you had to pull out this comeback victory middle way in the
Hmm.
third period.
Yeah.
Iafallo gets one underneath it, and I like when Kyle Connor scored with 2 minutes left. I was like, oh, that's a big one. That's a huge goal there. Because
Yeah.
just imagine if the Jets go down in this series 1-0.
Hmm.
The doubt would start to creep in a little bit,
Yep.
especially with the fans.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it would have been death bell. It's a 7-game series. But considering this Jets core hasn't really won anything and has had its playoff struggles, that would have been an interesting conversation. It would have been a different conversation we're having right now.
Oh, indubitably.
Because does anyone expect the Blues to really win? Not really.
No.
I mean, the
No.
majority of people are not going with the Blues. The Blues got red
No.
hot, and the scumbag Jim Montgomery. I mean, he's done a good job over there. Um, but I think for all intents and purposes, the Jets should win this series. They've been like the best team in the NHL this
Hmm.
season. It's been them and the Capitals.
Yeah,
And they gotta, I mean, sometimes that President Trophies thing is a whole curse within itself.
yeah.
But, I mean, if the Blues play like this, and I think the Blues could even play a little bit better, I think I said in 5 games, I said the Jets. I mean, I could actually see if they keep up this level of play and even improve it a little bit more, maybe 6 or 7. I still think the Jets can pull this out, especially with a guy like Bennington who can just get red hot.
Uh
But
huh.
yeah, I mean, if I'm a Jets fan, I'm a little bit concerned with how that went.
Well, and then I'm just going to piggyback on this. The last minute of that game is going to be indicative how the rest of the series is going to go.
Yep.
They got a little fighty, got a little testy, and I
Oh, I
just sat
loved
there
it.
and smiled.
I loved it, bro. That was like old school hockey.
Yeah,
That was like old school hockey.
and this is how rivalries get made.
And I think that's a beautiful thing about the sport.
Yeah,
It was funny seeing them all get into it. DC kind of brought up a point. Iafallo was involved plenty, and it was needed in a close game. Maybe Perfetti just needed to get a playoff game under his belt, but the Jets need him to get going. Yeah, I think
absolutely
the Jets definitely need him to get going.
on
They
the money.
need
Yeah, they need him bad.
yeah, because they can't just rely on Connor and Shifley. Like there's got to be other players here that contribute.
Hmm.
It's it will be interesting. I will say
Yeah,
this: the response, because the Jets won the game, but it was a pretty tight game.
yeah.
Do you think that this could be a nice little spark for the Blues of belief, being like, "Hey guys, listen, like, it's really was more of a 4-3 game. Like, hey guys, listen, like, we almost beat them. Like, we can play against these guys. We can play with anybody at this level."
Yep.
Do you think that the Blues like this gives them more belief?
Oh, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. They were leading for about half the game,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and
oh,
in and not at home in Winnipeg's barn too.
yeah.
They turned that place into a mausoleum when they went up 3-2. It was and I'm just sitting there when I was texting. I was thinking to myself, this isn't good for Winnipeg. This is not exactly because that it's something when that place is rocking. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
But the
Oh yeah.
minute they went up 3-2 on that Kyra goal, oh my God, you could hear a mouse fart in there, dude.
Yeah. Dude, it got tight. It was a very, very quiet barn when they were
That
down 3-2.
That Kyra goal sucked all the air out of their barn, and
Yeah.
it was it was a little eerie because you just had like 18,000 people in white jerseys just kind of sitting there going,
Well, but think about how they feel though, because they've seen this. Like this is the second
yeah.
verse name. They've seen this before, where they've had a good team, and then they just,
It,
for whatever
it's like
reason, struggled, and they
they're like the
fail.
Manitoba Maple Leafs.
Oh my god. I was gonna say I had a whole thing planned. I said like if the Winnipeg loses, like they're just the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're Toronto West, right? Like
Yeah, they're
that's
the Manitoba Maple Leafs.
so it's
Same
pretty.
colors, pretty much. So yeah, that works.
Uh, so going forward in this series, what improvements do you think both team needs to make? Like what? Let's go with the Blues. Let's start with the losing team. What do you think they need to improve to beat the Jets in a series?
Not a lot. Um, I think they did everything just about right. Bennington just couldn't stop a couple pucks that were very good shots. I don't think they need to change a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't. I really don't know because watching that game, they played about as good as you could expect them to.
Yeah, I think I would say for the most part they obviously got outshot by the Jets, but
Put more pucks
this
on net. That'd be about it.
yeah, like I would say probably throw a little bit more junk when they can,
Hmm.
but for the most part I would have to agree that that's probably almost the best version you're going to get of the Blues. I think there's some things they could fine tune, like maybe take a little,
Yeah.
shots from the point or the outside, having a front net presence to bang home a rebound or something of that nature. Because Hellebuck is a good goalie, but like that, I mean, that third goal showed. You take away his eyes, he becomes extremely human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I think I think the Blues have some good shooters on this team that can take
Yeah.
advantage of that.
The only other thing I might add on to that is if they can ratchet up the physicality even more.
Yeah.
More shots on net, more physicality. Tighten it up, make it even tougher to get through the neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those would be the only three things that I could think of that they could improve upon, even though they did very well. You know, they played a hell of a game. They didn't get two stops and they needed the two stops. Otherwise, that could have legit been a 3-2 St. Louis win. They were real close to not pulling that out.
DC says Binnington needs to play on his head. Yeah, I think Binnington, he played solid. I mean, he played solid overall. I mean, that what was that? Was it the first goal that he let in? That was just a weird like bounce. Yeah, it was like a weird like it shot, but it like deflected off his stick and in. I can't blame him on that.
No,
you know, I think he played solid. I agree with you. If they're gonna win this series or go deep in this series, ramp up the physicality, hit anything that moves. I will say the discipline though from the Blues got to be a little bit better. They were taking some dumb penalties. They were taking some dumb penalties in that game.
There was a couple of penalties.
I'm like, what are you doing? The guy don't even have the puck. Like, what are we doing here?
Actually, to just retcon a little bit, that's the other thing I did not like about the Avalanche. The Lindgren penalty was dumb.
Yeah.
The Manson penalty was equally as dumb.
Yeah.
But I gave them a bit of a pass. They haven't played in a hot minute. It's game one. Emotions are going to be high, and I'm sure that Bednar just said, you know, we just dial that back a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, but the Blues got to be a little bit more disciplined in that because you don't want to be giving the Jets this much of like a lethal power play like that, or lethal players on that roster, that many opportunities. That's something they got to kind of. And Montgomery looked in disbelief on one of them. He's like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah,
scumbag.
He did. He just the look on his face is just like he just had that complete what the fuck look on his face. That was fucking priceless. I was just like, all I could think of is like there is a meme in the waiting right there.
As for the Winnipeg Jets, the improvements I'd like to see them make. Little bit better with the transition into the neutral zone, into the offensive zone. I'll give the Blues a good job with, like, they did a really good job of.
What did I tell you about that?
You did. No, you called that. You called that really well. Like the Blues transition in the neutral zone was really good. Their defense was pretty damn solid.
Yeah, they make it really tough to get in the offensive zone, and I watched 2 games of that, and when the Avs played them, and I was just like, Jesus, how do you get in?
Yeah, they did a really good job of that. So, like, a little bit kind of taking advantage, understanding, like, okay, I got some speed, maybe a little bit of a dump and chase into a cross corner to an offshoot wing, kind of just timing zone entries where you can hit a guy with speed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the zone entries got to be a little bit cleaner for the Jets. And, I mean, outside of that, just...
That's about it. That's the only... you pretty much... You know, I can't really add anything to that. Better zone entries.
Probably maybe picking up guys in the slot though. I would say that. Like that the second goal. That the Thomas goal, like from the faceoff dot, that was a hell of a shot. He just ripped it. It
was.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, you're at the faceoff dot. That should be stoppable, but then it's a hell of a shot. But then they just got to be careful with their assignments and not letting a guy fall free, which kind of happened on the second one. So I think overall the Jets will be fine. I think the Blues just play such a style of hockey that they're gonna kind of make it a close game. Like they're gonna make it these close games. Like they might not win them, but they'll keep them 1 to 2 goals in distance.
It has shades of the mid '90s, Devils that would just muck up the neutral zone so horribly. to get into the offensive zone was just a treat.
You just need a Scott Stevens over there taking illegal hits. You know,
Yeah. Well, legal back then, not now.
dude, he'd be in jail right now. Scott
He
Stevens
would
would have
be,
to.
dude. He'd be like the Hanson brothers. Hey, the cops are outside.
Well, kind of looking into tomorrow, right? Because we got a great thing about. I love this time of year.
It's the
But
most wonderful
full
time of
time
the
of the year.
year.
I'm gonna share it here on screen just so we can kind of talk about it really quick, and then we'll kind of let you go because I know unfortunately you have a life, which is disappoints me.
Yeah.
Um, can I bring it on screen? Oh, I did. Okay. They put the banner down here. All right. So looking forward into tomorrow, right? 3 o'clock. You got the New Jersey Devils against the Carolina Hurricanes. Uh, the battle of the mid. So we'll see how that goes.
I'll be at work and I will watch it just
I'm gonna
because
watch
it's gonna
it.
kill time.
I'm gonna watch it. It's something I'll watch when I'm on the can. But it's it'll
Approved
be.
toilet viewing.
I think it will be interesting. We'll see how they kind of jump it, and then I think the best series on this day would probably be the Ottawa Toronto. I think that's
I
gonna
am
be.
so looking forward to that.
I really want Ottawa to just come up and just
Oh,
punch him in the
slap
mouth.
the shit out of absolutely.
Punch him in the mouth. I picked the Maple Leafs to win that series, but I want this to be a deep series. I want this to be fun.
Yes, I just there's a part of me that, and I feel horrible for saying this, that I want Brady Kachuk just to run Austin Matthews.
Jesus Christ. Just
just
run him.
Just run him.
So, and then we got the Minnesota Wild against the Vegas Golden Showers. So with the Knights,
The Golden Batmans.
the Golden Penguins, the Knights. I mean, I've already kind of made very clear how I view this. I think the Knights are just a far deeper team. But game one, give me your prediction. Who's winning each game?
It's early game. Cause is it Carolina's at home, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Carolina,
Right.
unless New Jersey just comes out like gangbusters and puts up. If they score like the first couple goals within the first half of the first period, I just think Carolina's style is going to take advantage of the injuries that New Jersey has, and it'll end up being. I'll even go on a limb and say 4-2.
I'm gonna say 10 to 9. No, imagine.
Dude, if that happens tomorrow, I'm going to call you immediately.
Oh, dude, you are. I think it'll be probably both ways. I could see this game being a 2-1 game or like a 6-5 game. It could go either way because the goaltending's not great sometimes. So I'll pick. I'm kind of with you with Carolina. I'll kind of go with that. What about the Toronto Ottawa game?
I think Ottawa's going to shock the shit out of them. I truly do. Olmark stands on his head. They win 3-1.
I'm actually going to go along with you on this. I think Ottawa wins game one in this series. I think they're going to have all the juice in the world. I think Olmark will play a good game.
Ottawa's playing with house money. They have absolutely nothing to lose.
No.
And meanwhile, everybody in Toronto's on pins and needles, waiting to see if they're going to actually make it out of the first round again.
Listen, if Toronto somehow loses this series, and again, I picked them to win it. If they somehow lose this series, that city's gonna burn, and it's not gonna be pretty.
No,
I think Steve Dangle will jump off the Toronto spire,
the tower.
The tower.
Wait, here's a question. Does Mitch Marner stay if they lose in the first round?
No, Mitch Marner's not staying regardless.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I just some of the reports. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think he likes. I don't know. And I don't know the person. Like I hate to say that. Oh, I don't think he likes. I don't know this fucking dude, right? So who do I have to say what he's thinking in his mind? But I think he's gone.
Yeah.
I think he's gone. Personally,
I think he is too. And um, he by the time the third period, they lose in like game six. They're down like 2 goals with 2 minutes left to go. His old lady's already packing the bags.
he's already like moving to Boston.
Yeah.
Jesus. Um, Third game, Minnesota Wild versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Who do you got?
As much as it pains me to say this because I loathe them. I loathe their fan base.
Oh, Jesus. What do they do to you?
Oh, dude, there's a sprinkling of Vegas fans out here in Western South Dakota, and they are some of the most self-entitled douchebags.
Hmm.
It's like New Jersey West, because all I was like, oh, we have 3 cups. I'm like, no, you got 2.5. That 95 cup was a half
I think.
because you guys had to have your party in a fucking parking lot, you mopes.
So what are you picking? Like, what are you picking,
Vegas,
jackass? All right,
Vegas.
all right. So
As much as and
yeah,
it's not gonna be close. It'll be 4-5 to like 1, maybe 2.
I think
Um, it
I'm,
might be
I'm
close in the beginning, and then they're just gonna wear them down.
I think Vegas as well. I think Vegas is
Yeah,
gonna win
they're
this.
gonna win. If they win by less than 2 goals, I will be absolutely shocked.
So that's our prediction for the previews of tomorrow. Can't control life. I appreciate you popping in actually too. Even though you're a Sens fan, you're saying that the Leafs are going to sweep. Wow, I
Ooh,
respect it. I respect the hatred of your own own team. I do the same thing. I'm just joking. Don't take me seriously. I can understand it. Like the Leafs have a ton of talent.
yeah,
Um,
they
DC
just
said
they have a curse.
beating the Senators isn't anything special. Toronto won't beat Tampa or Florida anyways. Uh, Listen,
Agree to disagree.
it's it depends on how Olmark plays. If Olmark can be a Vesna goaltender in the playoffs,
Hmm.
it makes the series completely different.
Oh yeah.
But it depends because he's had a sub 900 save percentage in every single playoff series in his career. So
Hmm.
it's a smaller sample size still, but can he actually be the guy to help lead a team in
Yeah.
the playoffs? We don't know. So we'll see. I think if Olmark is playoff Olmark, yeah, I could see the Leafs making a very short work of the Ottawa Senators. But if Olmark has that drive and he's locked in and he's playing like Vesna version Olmark, this series
Chip on his
could,
shoulder.
yeah, this series could go. The series could surprise some people. I think,
I think it will.
yeah, 100%. But I know you got to get some sleep. I'm gonna
Yeah,
actually get out
brother.
of here. I'm gonna get out of here and edit. If you guys are here now, DC and can't control life, and people that are gonna watch this, I've been posting a lot of videos, a ton of content. Appreciate if you could check out the back catalog. I mean, I just made a video on the Winnipeg Jets and St. Louis Blues. I even made a video on the Lehkonen kick goal. If you guys could, want to, feel free. I'm e-begging here. Make sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Check out
Did
the
you
other
say
videos.
e-bagging?
I'm e-begging, yes. Begging for social interaction, right? I want y'all to be parasocial with me, you know?
The Codependent Hockey Podcast and go.
Oh, shoot. But we appreciate y'all coming through. And when we can do lives, we're going to do them. So, short little lives like this makes the reviews quick. I might even just make this, I might download this and upload this as an individual video as well. So, I'm hoping you guys enjoy this. So, yeah, well, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
No. Go abs. Let's keep it
Go,
going.
go Bruins in the draft lottery, please. Number one.
When is the
Yeah.
draft lottery anyways? Is it like a couple 3 weeks?
I'd have to double check that. I just know the Bruins are technically fifth. We can fall to seventh, or we can go to number one. And I'm gonna just slide Bettman a $10 bill and be like, wink, 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 nudge, nudge. So
Fuck. Hook us up like you did Vegas, buddy.
So
Have I
we
ever
appreciate
explained real quick? Have I ever explained to you why I hate Vegas so much?
because of the expansion draft and how things
Yeah,
kind of went down in that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. You
it's
just hoovered them.
he did. I mean, that was the first time they ever did an expansion draft in that manner.
Yeah, and they haven't, and then they didn't do it when Seattle came in. I was like, so these guys don't get the same treatment, bitch.
No, they adjusted it. They did it. In theory, but like, yeah, no, Vegas benefited because they didn't want, before we go, they didn't want another Columbus Atlanta Thrashers situation where you have these new teams like wild situations. Like they have these new teams and they suck for
Yeah,
years. So I kind of understood the philosophy behind it, even though I
I
can
do.
understand why it irks some people.
Oh, it
Um,
pissed me off.
but you get some sleep. I'm gonna
All right,
get
brother.
some editing done, and thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll see you sometime soon.
Peace out.
I bet you would beat up Bettman in a fist fight, wouldn't you? Like you'd see him
Oh, I would
outside,
beat the
beat the
fuck out of him. His little 5 foot